But what makes a good one is something that isn't hog-tied to the idea of Christmas, I guess. You know, it isn't like, oh, we're only a Christmas movie. We have to like stick with that. We have to do something like specifically because of Christmas. Like they're inspired by the season, but like the story kind of is naturally progressing.
No! In the face! In the face! No! Where were you? Photographing squirrels? You're fired.
Chief, the planetarium party.
Oh, right. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you. Not listening. Not listening.
I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart. This guy, this man, he's not human.
You think you could steal from us and just walk away?
Yeah. Well, it's another episode of Let's Talk About Infidelity, where we read stories off the internet about infidelity, and then you guys tell them if they're moral or not. I'm your host. My name is Corey. I'm here joined as always, our infidelity expert, Zach, and then our boots on the ground guy, Cole. Are you guys ready to talk about some infidelity today?
What the fuck does that even mean?
I like thinking about Cole as the boots on the ground infidelity reporter. He's in the shit.
He's going up to people right after things. Sir, how do you feel about this infidelity that you just did?
Reporting live from my whore wife's closet.
Welcome back to another episode of Get a Load of This Movie, a franchise movie podcast where we talk about movies that are a part of a franchise. A little twist today, we're taking a load of Christmas, and we're going to talk about our favorite Christmas movies.
Taking a load of Christmas. That was good.
Taking a load of Christmas so we can give a load of Christmas. And we were talking about our favorite Christmas movies, favorite Christmas TV episodes, and all that is in between. So we don't really have a game. We don't really have a summary. So I guess we could just get straight into the action.
Even the opening scene, there's always some random girl who gets a call that undoubtedly ends up getting her killed. It's also predictable. There's no element of surprise. You can see everything coming. Ah!
Did that surprise you?
Why?
Because you talk too much. Now shut the fuck up and watch the movie.
So, am I supposed to tell you guys what happens in all of these movies?
Every single one of them.
Even the ones on your list?
Every single one of them.
If you have the inclination, I'll allow it. I'm curious what you could do, but I don't see that going well for anybody. So I think here's a fun go-around question right off the top of the bat here. What's your favorite Christmas episode of a TV show? When you think of like the bottle Christmas episodes of different TV shows, comedy or drama, I didn't really spend much time trying to think of like drama ones. I'm sure there are some, but I wasn't usually just associated with comedy shows. What are the ones that pop into your head? Cole, do you have one that you think of?
The Community musical episode.
The animated one?
No, that one's great too. The one where they can't sing songs that are like copyrighted, so they have to come up with their own Christmas songs. It gives there's the Abed and Troy Christmas rap.
I wrote down a Community episode too. I thought we were going to have the same answer because I wrote down the Abed's Christmas special when it's all animated and everything. But I wrote down a few other ones too.
Yeah, I did regional holiday. When I think of that, I think of regional holiday music, and that's.
Oh my gosh, that's when they're talking about him being a Jehovah's Witness, right?
Yeah, and then
that song is so good.
You have Troy's the Baby Boomer Santa song for Pierce.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Filled with lots of good songs. I wrote down the first one I thought of was the Ted Lasso Christmas episode.
When they're all at Leslie Higgins.
Yeah, and then Ted, Rebecca, what's her?
Welton.
Yes, Rebecca Welton. I'm the owner of the club. They're just going around and doing their own thing. I thought that even though it didn't really do much for the story, I thought that was a really good episode. I wrote down a few though. I wrote down the bear, the fishes episode.
Oh my God.
I'm like that's one that's going to age very, very well too. And that one's going to
be a drama.
Yeah. That would be a drama. I was trying to spread it out.
It's a comedy at the Emmys, but yeah.
And then I wrote down, not that you guys would know this one, Doctor Who, The End of Time. That one's really good. I don't know if you guys want me to describe that, but we don't have to go into it too much.
No,
I'm
you
a
don't
little
need
bit
to.
of a Whovian.
I honestly thought that Cole was going to go with this one, so I didn't put it down for mine. But the Always Sunny Christmas episode, there's a couple plot lines we're dealing with there. There's Charlie and Mac realizing that the Christmas memories they had are not as innocent or as, just joyful and warm as they thought. And then there's the deep and Dennis trying to show Frank, do a Christmas Carol thing with Frank and show him the errors of his ways so that they, of course, can benefit from his inheritance. I think out of the two, the Charlie and Mac stuff plays a lot better overall.
Did you fuck my mom, Santa?
Yes, that would be that aspect of the story. I was thinking of the Woodland Critter Christmas from South Park.
That's a good one, too.
I've never really watched South Park, so I don't know the episode.
Well, Cole, if you have about 30 minutes or 23 minutes usually to spare this holiday season and you want to watch one Christmas episode of South Park, that's one I think that'll be right up your alley, Cole. It really seems like one you would like a lot.
You didn't watch South Park?
I will say there's one I love that I don't think you guys are as fond of, and it's the Brooklyn Nine-Nine Die Hard episode, Yippee Kayak. They get trapped in a department store, and Charles Boyle gets the John McClane moment, and he messes up the Yippee Kayak. He says, Yippee Kayak, other buckets. That's a underrated one for me.
Did Parks and Rec have any? I don't really remember Parks and Rec Christmas episodes.
Not that I can think of.
I know The Office had some, but I haven't rewatched. I've only watched The Office once, so I don't remember them.
I think of The Office ones, I'm like, dear God, I don't want to think of this again. It's really funny.
It's very cringy.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're a movie podcast. We're not too versed on television shows.
Well, moving it to the movies thing, while we were talking about doing this episode and we were discussing, there were short little discussions of what certain movies would count as Christmas movies if they could count. And so, like Corey said, Hateful Eight is not a Christmas movie. All right, fair enough. I watched
thoroughly agreed, by the way.
I don't know why you have to add thoroughly agree. At the end of the day, it's set at Christmas. It's set at Christmas. So I don't know. It's at least a discussion. The character plays Silent Night. A character is going to go visit mom for Christmas. It's a cozy movie. I don't know. Either way, movies like that didn't quite make the cut. They're in a haberdashery. The whole point of a haberdashery is that, all right. And then like Edward Scissorhands, I kind of watched it, and like the first 2/3 are just so not Christmas that it's like hard to say. So I don't think a movie like that makes the cut. But for you guys, what to you, not even like, oh, what makes it count as a Christmas movie, but like what to you makes a good Christmas movie? So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Corey. What's your criteria for a good Christmas movie?
I don't think I had like a set criteria when going through it, especially when you asked the question about Hateful Eight. I think if you want to consider it one, I'm not really going to argue. I was trying to argue for just like our list making purposes and saying like, okay, if we're going to put like, because Hateful Eight, I put that when I first saw it, love Hateful Eight. Haven't seen it in a while, but I still love Hateful Eight. It's one of my top 4 on Letterboxd, right? But there are other movies specifically about Christmas, specifically about like the story of Santa or something like that, or the like my number one is specifically about Christmas, specifically about Santa, and then it would definitely get bumped down for a movie like Hateful Eight. So that's just giving a little background on why I said no to that, because there are so many that are specifically very Christmas oriented, thinking that the plot revolves around the season or the holiday, or if it weren't for the holiday, the movie wouldn't have happened. So, and I understand like, oh, he's literally on his way visiting for Christmas.
To be fair, that was a lie. That was his lie, because he was, well, okay, never mind. I'm not going to spoil a movie. I'm not going to spoil Hateful Eight.
Anyway, but I just think like overall, like, and then we get to the Die Hard question of it all. Like, does that even really count? But like his whole thing is like, I'm visiting for Christmas. I am here for Christmas. They're all together for a Christmas party. And so I think that like it ties in just enough. But I mean, for the people that say, "Oh, Die Hard's not a Christmas movie," I'm really not going to argue too much with that, because that's just not a hill I'm willing to die on. So for this criteria, I was trying to have it be something that revolves around the season, like something that Christmas inspired this story. And Netflix has a vast difference of them on there. So I mean, it's not like there's a shortage out there. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
quality on Netflix kind of dips when it comes to those movies, but I still think there are quality Christmas movies on Netflix and on other places and everywhere. So criteria for that. For this being, it does have to like kind of revolve around it. But what makes a good one is something that isn't hogged tied to the idea of Christmas, I guess. It isn't like, oh, we're only a Christmas movie. We have to like stick with that. We have to do something like specifically because of Christmas. Like they're inspired by the season, but like the story kind of is naturally progressing.
Yeah. All right, good answer. Cole, do you have something specific that you look for in a what do you like in your Christmas movie?
It invokes the themes of Christmas as well as the setting of around the season of Christmas. So Die Hard, spoiler alert, it's on my list, but it invokes the theme of like renewal, forgiveness, giving. And there are other movies like that. Yeah, they're set around the season, but I think a good Christmas movie invokes those themes of forgiveness, renewal, giving, much like It's a Wonderful Life. Like the movie itself, yes, it goes through many years, so it falls on Christmas Day a lot. But the movie itself is not centered around Christmas, but it invokes those themes a lot. So I think the idea of a good Christmas movie is you have to have the feeling around Christmas as well as the Christmas season. You could do a movie there could be a movie that's set at the beginning of December, but if it's about what Christmas invokes, I think it makes it a good Christmas movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah. For me, it's really simple. It's just the iconography, just Santa hats, the Christmas trees, Christmas lights, maybe some Christmas music. That'll help. I think Christmas songs will set mood really effectively. I mean, I'm not too picky with it. I agree. I can get on board with Corey saying Hateful Eight's not a Christmas movie. I think when I got a little upset is when Corey, and he might have been joking, he might have been rage baiting me. And if so, I'm talking about it here. So definitely mission accomplished. When he said Mean Girls is more of a Christmas movie than Hateful Eight, that I thought that take was ludicrous. But I can accept Hateful Eight not being a Christmas movie, but to say Mean Girls is more of one is just because of one scene. Stupid.
They're saying
stupid.
So you think it has to invoke the iconography of Christmas to be a Christmas movie?
That's just kind of what I look for there. And now, Cole, I get what you're saying about like invoking the themes of Christmas, like renewal and all of that. That's fine. You gotta. I
want it to look pretty.
I want it to look pretty. I want it to feel.
Pop.
I want it to feel like I'm in the Christmas season.
Baby.
That's what I want. I want it to. Really, I want the movie to feel at home with where I am in real life when I'm watching it. Like I'm around Christmas, because I don't really watch Christmas movies outside of Christmas. Obviously, I mean, maybe one or two can kind of have that crossover appeal. But yeah, I need it to feel like I'm there with the movie on that wavelength. Now you can take the warmth of Christmas and you can make it cozy vibes, bring it about family, blah blah blah, all that stuff, the renewal stuff Cole was talking about, or you can go with the coldness of Christmas, which can be how literally cold it is, but sometimes people are lonely on Christmas, and you can exploit that as well to like pretty effective. Like that's the fine line between white Christmas and black Christmas. The movies, I mean, not cultures.
Because we're a movie franchise podcast. Those are names of movies, but
I know, but I wanted to make sure those aren't like popular movies, I think, for people our age, at least, because they're both very old movies. But that's what I like. I love a good Christmas horror movie, but also, I like all the warm and fuzzy Christmas movies as well. So, you can have it both ways. I think you need both in the Christmas season. Moving on from that, so on the list itself that we have here, just transparency in media. This is how the list was made. I asked Cole and Corey to send me their own individual top 15 Christmas movies list. I asked them not to share their list with each other, so they should not know each other's list. I did not share my top 15 with them. So I took those lists. I took all three of our lists, and I assigned points to it, to each entry in each person's list. So like Corey, let's say all of our number one movies, respectively, which, spoiler, we all had different number ones. All of our number one movies got 15 points each. And then all of our number 15 movies got 1 point each. And then, I just calculated out which movie has the most points. That would be number one. and then so on down. And we have our top 10 from there. In the event of a tie, which, there was only one pair of movies that had the same amount of points in terms of the ones that actually made the top 10. I just went with the one that was on more people's lists. So they're like, one of them was on 2 people's lists, the other one was on 3. And that's what I put ahead.
That's fair.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that works.
So that's how I settled that one.
So far, I'm not mad at how you did it, but once I hear it, I reserve the right to be mad.
Let's say we all were to have 15 separate movies and there was 0 overlap at all. It would be a crazy anomaly. That's not what happened. But what did happen is, of the 45 possible separate movies that we could have theoretically had, we actually had 29 movies. There were 29 different movies listed. So
That's actually more than I was expecting.
I would say, same here. Tell you what, there was a curveball or two in each of your lists that I was not expecting. And maybe there's a curveball in mine that you guys weren't expecting. I'm looking forward to talking about it. So we'll go from 10 to 1 with these results. Corey and Cole, again, do not know the list, how it shook out. I will show my work at the end. I have the spreadsheet here with all of it. And then once we've gone through, once we've gone through all 10, we can each read our own individual 15 lists off, just rattle them off. And certain people might have to be put on trial for certain takes. We don't know. We'll find out. So there will be transparency in media.
I say, Cole, in full transparency, I sent Zach my list and I said, be kind.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
There were some ones on Corey's list as well that I'm looking forward to him explaining. That's all we ask. All we ask is accountability. That's all we ask on this podcast. Okay, so without further ado, I think before we start, it is important, just so people don't get upset, like, why isn't this movie here? Obviously, we like movies. We watch a lot of movies. We all haven't seen every movie. So that probably affected the ranking a little bit. I tried to watch a couple that I know I hadn't seen before we did this list, just to get a couple big ones out of the way. I won't spoil if these 2 made my list, but like, I had never seen It's a Wonderful Life or A Muppet Christmas Carol. And I watched both of them before this list. I had not seen either one of them before the past week or 2. So I did that in preparation. I know Corey watched one last night that he had not seen. I won't spoil if it made his list or not. Yes, he did. Actually, I watched Black Christmas last night as well. I had already seen it, but it was playing at the High Point Theater here in St. Louis, and I took my girlfriend Madeline, to see it. She had not seen it. So that was a fun experience. So we were... Corey and I were akin across the nation, watching the same movie in very different ways. I know, it was cute.
Did you finish at the same time?
That's enough. I need a squirt bottle to spray you through the screen. So some Christmas movies I haven't seen. Old ones, Miracle on 34th Street or whatever that one is. Meet Me in St. Louis. I've never seen Scrooged. Never seen Bad Santa. I've actually never seen Home Alone 2. I've seen Home Alone, the first one, enough times. Yeah, I've never seen the second one. And I've never seen the Santa Claus. Never seen any of the Santa Claus movies. So the Tim Allen picture. Those are some big ones I have not seen. I don't know if you guys care to be vulnerable and admit things that you haven't seen.
I've actually seen every Christmas movie ever made.
That's just not true. Because I flat out know that some of these on my list would be on your list if you had watched them, or at least watched them recently. But
And
I'll tell you which ones those are
Black
later.
Christmas. I haven't seen Black Christmas. I can't remember enough about Miracle on 34th Street. I probably watched it when I was really young, but I can't remember enough about it.
Okay. I haven't seen White Christmas. I looked up a list of like the most popular ones because I'm not going to list all the ones I haven't seen, but like the most popular ones. It's a Wonderful Life. Haven't seen that one. Meet Me in St. Louis. Haven't seen that one. Miracle on 34th Street. No. Bad Santa. I haven't seen. And then The Muppets Christmas Carol. I haven't seen. I think those are the big ones.
You'd like it.
The Muppets Christmas Carol.
You're the guy you were pushing the Muppets agenda, sometime in the past, month or so, I remember.
I don't know if it was pushing a Muppets agenda rather than who would you like to see replaced by a Muppet in this movie, and everyone else is the same.
Well, you were like, we're doing the Muppets movies, all 9 of them, so buckle up.
Okay, I do.
I'll tell you this, I'm not as against that idea now as I was then.
Really?
Could be fun. It could be fun.
I think I've only seen one of the Muppets movies.
I have a question for you guys. Have you heard of It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas movie by chance? Have either of you heard of that? So there's a thing online, and it's like basically Kermit does It's a Wonderful Life, where he like wishes he wasn't born or never existed, whatever. But you can find a newspaper clipping, and they have this in the movie, where the 2 towers are still standing. So it is implied that through the birth of Kermit, 9/11 happened.
Huh.
On to the action.
We've been we've been in the action. All right, on to fun with numbers. On to fun with numbers. Okay, so before we get going on the list, just really quick, I thought this was neat. Do you guys have a guess on which decade has the most submissions from us? Not in the top 10 itself, but out of all of the 29 movies or whatever I said that got voted in total.
I'm gonna go the aughts, the 2000s.
I was gonna guess the 90s.
Wrong. It was the 80s. There were 6 movies from the 80s listed by us. Both the 2000s and the 90s had 5. The 2020s coming in with 4 submissions. The 2010s had 3.
Seems like Corey.
Yep. The 70s had 2 movies. The 60s had 1, and the 40s had 2. So again, that's just out of the 29 we listed. Not all those will make the top 10, obviously. You guys want to guess how many Christmas movies were on 2 of our lists?
Like how many of us had
how many movies were on
at least
2
of our lists?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 29 total.
At least 2.
I will say a flat 15. We're on at least 2.
On a flat 15. That is higher. Higher.
Ooh.
I'm gonna
Lower.
go,
We have less than that.
13.
Cole, that's just a hell of a guess, but I'm afraid it was 12. Only
I was gonna
12
say
movies.
12 next.
Yeah. You want to guess how many of those 12 are on 3 of our list?
6.
On all 3. Okay, no guess from Cole. 5. So yeah, a lot of variety, like I was saying. And now let's say all of us gave the same movie our number 1 spot. It would get 45 points. So that means a movie could at most get 45. Only 2 movies got above 30. And of those 2, one of them did get above 40. So there was a pretty clear winner here. Not going to reveal what it is, but there's a definitive crown here at the top spot. But we're counting down from 10 to 1.
Yeah.
So
number 10.
Yeah, maybe I'll get a drop for that. Yeah. Okay. Depends how lazy I am. Okay, coming in at number 10. That's fun. All right. A Muppet Christmas Carol with 15 points. Now, Corey, you just admitted that you have not seen it. So your reaction here has no integrity. Nothing.
That's insane. Cole, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, whatever.
Cole, this came in at number 5 for Cole, and it came in at number 12 for me on my list. So I'll let Cole go first since he had it in his top 5. Cole, what is it about the Muppets Christmas Carol that makes it a great Christmas movie to you?
I mean, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol is like that timeless classic that really makes you think about, like I said, the themes of Christmas, the ghost of past, present, and future, what you've done to like lead to this moment. And then bringing in the Muppets. The Muppets are just so fun. They're just some fun little guys. They're always up to shenanigans, and
I can't argue.
I love the Muppets so much. I mean, if we ever did the Muppets movies, spoiler alert, they'd get very high ratings from me. But yeah, I think it brings those themes. Well, it also brings that fun that you want to have on Christmas. Christmas movies, I don't think should be dour. They should be joyful. They should be fun. And I think the Muppets bring joy very well.
Muppets it's hard to be sad looking at a Muppet, I think is, a concise way to say, those are just some goofy fellas. And there's also just something tangible about them. They're puppets, obviously. They're not meant to look real. Who cares? It's just fun to watch them interact with a live action environment and live action people, and they just all act like it's normal. Michael Caine is not playing this as a goofy movie. He's not Jason Segel.
He's playing it straight.
Michael Caine is Ebenezer Scrooge, and he is not having it with these Muppets. But he goes, everyone knows the story. You know how this movie's going to play out. It's not a movie that's like meant to surprise you. It's just meant to be a comfortable watch, of entertaining watch with the Muppets. It's under 90 minutes. Beautiful. I watched this on like the red eye kind of flight home like 2 days ago from LA, and it's a perfect movie for that. It's cozy, doesn't demand a lot out of you, and it gets going quickly. And you know what? I really enjoyed the songs. And this was my first Muppets movie that I watched that besides the two contemporary movies, the Jason Segel one and the Tina Fey one. So it did, like I was saying, Corey, this did inspire me to watch more of them. But we don't need to spend too much time on our number 10 spot because we're moving on to
Number
the big
9.
the big dogs, the top 9 here. So all right, coming in at number 9. This was one, even though this is 9 and it's not higher, this was one that was on all 3 of our lists. Elf coming in at number 9. So
Makes sense.
I'm looking here to see who had Elf the highest, and it was Corey in his number 8 spot. So that's why Elf is as low as 9, even though it was on all 3. None of us put it in our top 5. None of us put it in our top 7.
Yeah.
Corey, why? What is it about Elf that keeps you coming back to it?
What keeps me coming back? I don't
What
know. I think
makes
the
you
jokes
feel
always
strong,
make me
my
laugh.
friend?
Like, I don't think it necessarily gets stale year after year, but I also like, if it wasn't a Christmas movie, I think the jokes would get stale for some reason. But just because it's Christmas, you come back to it once a year, and I think that's exactly what the time away from it you need to fond for it, and to grow an appreciation and to want to come back.
To fond
Is the
for it.
acting like that inspiring? No. Is like the story that crazy? It's a very enjoyable story, but it's nothing like super special. I think that's why it's not higher, honestly. But I like Will Ferrell in it. I like everyone in it. And I just, it makes you laugh and it makes you feel ready to be in the Christmas spirit. I also think it's the most drab version of the North Pole we see in a movie. It's not very happy in the North Pole. Yeah, like in the
because our
one in the
guy is
workshop.
sad, I think.
I think everyone's
our character is
sad.
Well, it's cold up there.
Well, in the
Cold
workshop,
up
it's
there.
very gray, and I imagine the North Pole is very colorful, and it's gray, and they're all sitting around just one table. I don't know. It's just kind of like, but I still do like the movie. But those are the reasons it didn't make my top 5.
I think what I love about Elf, my favorite part about Elf, besides, just the Will Ferrell performance in general, but that kind of goes without saying, is just I do love that North Pole does seem like it's almost out of like one of those old Christmas cartoons like Frosty the Snowman or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with like,
I was gonna
obviously
say
everyone
more
loves
Rudolph than like with the claymation.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, that one, yeah, specifically. But like everyone loves to quote the "Dear buddy, hope you find your dad." But I think the funniest, just the fact that a narwhal just comes out of the water and says that to a grown man, Will Ferrell elf walking, and he's like, "Thanks, narwhal," or whatever. It's just
thanks, Mr. Narwhal.
That's the unique approach to that movie that I really appreciate. I think the movie kind of loses steam for me in the last third once we kind of settle into the usual, just kind of Christmas, like, oh, we need to be happier type of thing, and everyone needs to learn their lesson. Not saying it's bad, but by any means. But that's the more common ground that we've seen in a lot of different Christmas movies. So I think the novelty of the situation is sort of wearing thin by the end, which is why it's not higher on my list. But I don't want to make it sound like I'm not. Obviously, it's on all of our lists. We all like it. So like I do like Elf a lot. I think it's really funny. It's a movie I'm glad never got a sequel. I don't know what you could possibly do to kind of keep the freshness of that premise going. So, Cole, do you have any thoughts on Elf before we move on to number 8?
Nothing that hasn't been said, but I will say I actually really appreciate the third act because the third act is about really what I love about the movie and how Buddy's like infectious joy just kind of not just encapsulates his father, his half brother. It takes over a whole city that has become kind of cruel. It's kind of like that idea in Ghostbusters 2 where like everyone became a miserable asshole. So the ooze started rising from the sewers and everyone became a miserable asshole and stopped believing in Santa. So he is able to affect Zooey Deschanel's character. He's able to affect the apartment store he worked at. He just has this kindness that oozes, which is why I think it's up there in Will Ferrell's catalog, but it's what I love about Christmas movies in that it brings joy. And I think James Caan being that asshole dad is one of the more quality roles he plays.
Yeah.
Outside of Sonny Corleone, of course.
Which is when Corey and I learned all about consequences watching his role as Sonny Corleone and The Godfather. The one thing about Elf that's crazy for me is like it's older than it seems to me. Like, does this movie feel like it's before Anchorman? Like, this is Will Ferrell before
This was
Anchorman.
06, so this was after.
No, this
Anchorman
was 03.
04.
Elf is 03.
No, wait, no way.
See, the example right here. Cole was not. It is older than That was
That
a great
is
way to put
that
my
is
point right there, Cole.
insane.
Fun with numbers.
Fun with
That
numbers.
is
We're having fun with numbers.
insane, man.
He made Elf the same year. Elf came out the same year as Old School. You know, the other Will Ferrell movie. So like,
That is crazy to think about.
yeah, just
That's
such a different, such a different vibe
range.
switch.
That's-
And
that's
spoiler, I
range,
think I like
guys.
them about the same amount. You know, if that tells you anything about how much I like Old School. All right, and the one thing before I move on, my favorite scene in Elf is him overhearing Zoe Deschanel doing "Baby It's Cold Outside," and he just casually just starts to do the duet with her. That's a really charming
Also,
scene.
that's like the least Zoe Deschanel role I've ever seen because her personality is so bubbly. Like, I think of her as Jess from New Girl, and she is just so drab and so, like...
Second time drab has been used on the podcast.
I mean, you used it first, buddy.
Crazy.
I don't think that's really tough talk. You called it out.
Felt like tough talk.
Well, I felt strong, my friend, so I'll call you an elf one more
Are
time.
you feeling strong? Cole, well done.
Number
That's a
8.
Great way to finish the elf talk as we move on to number 8. This is actually the only one on the top that made the top 10 that was not on my list. This did not make my personal list. Number 8 was on both of your lists, and it's the Tim Allen Santa Claus.
Yes.
This was all the way up.
Yeah.
This was
Dude, this movie is
Corey's-
really good.
This was Corey's 12. Okay, so just remind people that means it got 4 points from Corey. This movie got 13 points from Cole. This was Cole's number 3 Christmas movie. So Cole,
go.
why don't you go ahead and tell us what it is about Tim Allen's The Santa Claus? Claus with an E at the end, everybody.
Because it's a clause.
Yeah, the Santa
Yes,
Claus.
claw.
Okay, just for
What it is
Zach's
about it.
sake, the Santa Claus is that
No,
once
I know what it's
Santa
about.
dies,
I know what
the
it's about.
person
I know what
picks
it's
up
about.
Why do you like it?
I love it because it's about what I love about Christmas movies. Like I said, it's about finding like joy in like the darkness. And Scott Calvin is a miserable asshole at the beginning of the movie. Tim Allen's Scott Calvin is just a miserable asshole in every sense of the word. He's got a terrible relationship with his son, a terrible relationship with his ex-wife, and it's through finding this thing which is bringing joy. Ironically, he does work for a toy company. It's bringing joy to people where he is able to find this better version of himself. And I think Tim Allen's hilarious throughout the movie. There's a scene where he's being interrogated by the police, and they ask him, "What is your name?" And he starts giving like a couple of versions of how other countries say Santa Claus. And the one that always stuck with me is Popo Gijo. So, I mean, and there's also a certain silliness to the whole thing where it's like this guy has gone insane, thinks he's Santa Claus, and he is brought in by the police and has to be rescued by EWA. Elves with Attitude, which is
It's like their Secret Service, Zach.
yeah.
Got it.
The movie does not take itself too seriously, and I think it's phenomenal. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tim Allen's Santa Claus. The sequels are not as strong.
See, now
Sequels
that's a
are
great
just as
transition.
fun though.
They're
Here's the
really
thing.
fun.
Cole, I want to jump off that really quick because when I was reading these lists, I said, "What?" And then I looked on Letterboxd to see what my friends thought of this film. I saw that Corey gave this movie 3 out of 5, and it made his top 15 Christmas movies list. And I was like, I wonder if he saw the second one. And then I looked, and Corey gave the second one 3.5 out of 5 and said it was a superior sequel.
Wow.
So we can call this the accountability hour because Corey did not put the Santa Claus 2 on his list, and he put the first one on here. So Corey, the floor is yours. Explain yourself.
I'm
This
okay
is
with being held accountable.
media. Let's do it.
When I post on Letterboxd, okay, I am posting in the moment and how I feel. I am not saying like, how do I feel about this movie in a year from now when someone looks back? Like, that's how I felt when I watched the movie. I enjoyed it then. Looking back now, reflecting, what's seriously top 15 for Santa Claus? Yes, I like it. I go back to it all the time, and it makes me want to watch the sequels. Okay, but the Santa Claus 2, I don't know if I'd go bar for bar with that in terms of movie and script and everything like that with the first one. I think it is probably not as well written, probably not, but it is just as fun.
It is a fun movie.
I will say they understand what their audience wants to see and they deliver. Okay?
Good.
They are not there to see the best movie ever made, and neither was I at that moment. So I stand by it then, but that does not mean I can't change my mind moving forward. Number 7.
I will defend putting it in my top 5 and in my top 3. I think it's a
Cole?
phenomenal movie. And Zach, I think you should watch it.
It's on my watch list. You guys convinced me. I know it's got a good reputation. I'll watch at least the first one. Maybe probably during the next holiday season. I'll get to that one.
You got 4 more days, bud.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with your ranking there, Cole. I haven't seen it. I can't judge it. There's other ones on your list that I'm excited to talk about. That was one that, sure, fair enough. So moving on to number 7. This
7.
is another one. This one was only on 2 of our lists. Okay, but I believe it's enemy of the pod, Adam's favorite Christmas movie. And it is Home Alone. Home Alone. Okay, and this was on me and Corey's list, not on Cole's list. And and we laughed because when Cole had a bit of a misunderstanding of what I was pitching for this Christmas episode, clearly had thought I was just saying we should just do a one-off Christmas episode and then called it a day in terms of reading that text. He suggested we do Home Alone, and so that was his go-to movie to suggest it for the one-off holiday episode. Then it did not make his top 15. So for me, it came in at number 9, so 7 points from me. And from Corey, Home Alone came in at number 3. So 13 points from Corey. So Corey, since you have it in your top 3, this is on the podium. This is podium for you. It's getting the bronze. What is it about Home Alone that you really like for the Christmas season?
I'm sorry for having any other rankings besides yours. Every other movie that isn't in your top, I feel
I
just
have it on my list.
You just attack. You're just a vicious little.
You have not seen me attack yet, Cole. I'm just teasing. I have a big attack coming for Cole later once we go through his 15. But I think it's a very reasonable top 3.
No, and I'm not saying you're attacking the movie. I was just saying
it's
like
on
every
my
single
list.
time.
I like the movie.
Cole and I have a different movie than you. It's like, whoa, someone likes this one, huh?
Oh
And
my
it feels like
God,
you're
you
rubbing
guys
my
can't
belly
like things.
and
I went to
patting my
film
head
school.
and saying, "Here's a sucker, big guy," and that's what it feels like when you say that.
You guys are twirling your propeller hat, licking your lollipop, watching these movies.
No, I love Home Alone. I think this one is more. It's very well. I really like the movie, but I think also the nostalgic factor, which I think has a good amount to say for a lot of the movies I put on my list, including the Santa Claus, which we just talked about, nostalgia factor. But like Home Alone, like that first part of the movie where Kevin's just enjoying his time by himself, like they left me, and then it's just going from there. Like that was kind of every kid's dream to be like, oh my gosh, I get this huge house, all to myself, can do whatever I want, can eat whatever I want. And then you know what? When the moment comes, he steps up, and I think that it's just a very satisfying movie in that way.
Yeah.
This is my house.
In all of that stuff, feels like he's still having fun and it's never being scared, which a movie like that can be very... I mean, I just watched Black Christmas, which, Cole, not to spoil it, it's a very similar concept, except it's not a child. It's they're people in college.
House.
Yeah, it's a sorority house. But like it can take a very big turn, and I think that this movie is so positive, so uplifting, and so nostalgic, has a lot of the reason that I put it in my top 3.
Yeah. I think you made a great point there, Corey, with like the thing for like this. It's like a kid's dream to be like left alone, home alone with all the do whatever you want, watch as much TV as you want, order food, get food, whatever it is. So that plays into that really well. I think it's also, kind of like a kid's daydream to like defend his house against bad guys, quote unquote bad guys, and like all the traps that he sets up. It's, that's a lot of fun. It's really satisfying. And I do think everyone thinks about Kevin McAllister and then the two wet bandits, Joe Pesci and the other guy, I forgot his name, but they're great. They're all great.
Marv.
But I really do think my favorite part of Home Alone is Catherine O'Hara. I think she's a gem. So, spoiler alert, she's actually not the last movie on the list that has Catherine O'Hara. So that probably shouldn't surprise anyone, but that's the truth. Now, Cole, do you have any thoughts on Home Alone before we move on?
Definitely solid, but I don't find myself returning to it as much. That's really why I didn't put it on my list. I don't return to it all the time.
Well,
Moving
I said
on.
that we had a tie for one of them, and I went with the one that was on all three of our lists instead of two. Tied with Home Alone with 20 points is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, coming in at number 6 on our list. So looking at who had this movie the highest, it looks like it is Corey coming in at his number 5 spot. So this did make Corey's top 5. Came in at number 11 for me and number 12 for Cole. So, keeping it going. Always go first to whoever had it the highest. Corey, what's your favorite part in Christmas Vacation? What's your favorite gag in the film?
My favorite gag actually starts out really early after they get the tree. Or maybe I think it's just when they're driving on that road, they're like to the tree and then back from the tree. And then he's like, "Oh, look, a deer." And he's just flipping off the car next to him. He's like, "I'm just going to go around them, honey," and like trying to do all those like road rage things, but he's trying to be very calm about it and ends up under a truck. Like, I think that shot that they do where you just see the truck and then the car underneath it is so good, but also so anxiety inducing because it's like, what do you do? But I think that one is up there with my favorite gag, along with when he's emptying his truck into the sewer. And
Shitter's full.
He says hi to
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Yes, her character as she's going by, and then he's like, he raises his glass and like, "Shitter's full." Yeah, that part's really good. Uncle Eddie in that movie is very good. But those are probably my favorite gags of the entire movie.
I really like the simplicity. I mean, it's ridiculous, but the simple imagery of it is so funny. When Clark is just staring out into his backyard and he starts imagining the pool there, and then naturally he's having a good time looking at all the fun they'd be having at the pool with his family, but then he eventually starts to imagine the jewelry clerk woman.
Welcome back to Infidelity Hour here at the beginning of this.
And when his niece comes in and finds him, he's just standing with his hands pressed against the glass, staring out the window in the dark. Just, I don't know. It's a funny image to me. But honestly, I think the movie peaks with the freak out when he gets what he believes to be his bonus check. And before actually opening it, he promises everyone that he's going to get a swimming pool, and he's flying them all out to enjoy it with him. I think that's what makes him so endearing. Clark. I know that, Eddie. Like, just like, I really, he's a family. Clark Griswold is, an imperfect man who wants to be perfect, which makes him endearing, but his flaws are also really enjoyable to watch. So I think his dream of a perfect Christmas it really does make you try to root for him. And then watching it all like come crashing down, and his disappointment when the lights don't turn on at first and he has to check all the bulbs and all that, he wants to have a perfect Christmas for his family. I find it's very sweet. It's a very sweet heart underneath the antics in the movie. But Cole, what are your thoughts on Christmas Vacation, and do you have a favorite bit from the movie?
I mean, all of Clark's fuck-ups are just so great. The fact when they trek through the snow and Jonathan Galecki goes to him, "Did you bring the saw, Dad?" And it's the
his eyes go wide.
Or when the tree falls and he is covered with sap and he's got Beverly D'Angelo's hair in one hand and he's got the magazine page on the other. Or the simplicity of when the tree catches on fire, so he goes outside to cut down another one, thinking, "Fuck, a squirrel might live in here."
Or it's going to crash through my neighbor's house.
Yeah. I mean, just the simplicity of him turning pages with the magazine and his fingers being stuck on every page after this. Very full, a lot of sap.
I mean, all of his endearing little, like, fuck-ups. One of my favorites is the waxing of the little sled. It just shoots like a rocket down the hill.
Yeah,
and then when he brings it back, there is no bottom to it.
That's a bit that I do remember watching it recently with my friend, my roommate George, who had not seen it, and we were watching it. And I think that's one of the bits that maybe goes on a bit too long. We are going down that hill for a long time.
Yeah. Some of them,
and the whole time,
I think some of the bits go on for a little bit too long.
It doesn't have it's not the best hit rate of jokes. It just has some of the jokes that hit are so funny. So it really, that's kind of what that buoys, is that a word? Buoy, Buoys? I don't know. Fun with words today. Buoys. Well done. Thank you, English major. That's what we needed there. It's held up by the highest highs that the movie has, for sure.
Yeah. Last one before we go is he lets the senile grandmother lead the prayer at dinner.
Pledge allegiance.
To which point she starts saying that. And then they cut open the turkey that was made about 3 months in advance, and the turkey explodes.
That's so gross. What happened with that?
I don't know.
I
It
never-
just dried out. The joke is it just dried out.
It's just a little dry, you know. It's just whatever Clark tries to rationalize it.
Like him trying to eat it too.
Okay, so guys, we are
Have you-
officially.
Have you guys seen any of the other vacation
No,
films?
I have not actually. I do want to see the first one for sure.
First one's phenomenal. But go on,
Yeah.
sorry.
We are going into the top 5, our top 5 Christmas movies now.
The top 5.
And now we are kicking off with I believe is the oldest movie on that made our top 10. Actually, I know it for a fact. It's A Wonderful Life. So this was my number 7. So got 9 points from me. This was Cole's number 1. So we have reached a number 1 status. So I saw it for the first time this week. It's very fresh for me. I enjoyed it a lot. I think Jimmy Stewart is phenomenal. I love him in the Hitchcock movies. That's what I know him from. I know him in Rope. I know him in Vertigo. I know him in Rear Window. This guy's got one of the all-time best voices
James
for an actor.
Stewart.
Just one of my favorite voices ever for an actor.
Mr. Gow.
Really watchable. Really watchable in that regard. And it is a sweet movie. And I do think, before I let Cole explain why it's his number 1 movie, I do think the one thing that held me back from putting it higher is it really doesn't really become a Christmas movie till the last third of the movie. I think because a lot of it is just flashbacks. We're going through his life. We're going through our protagonist's life here. And it's all really well written, really well acted. It's very charming. It's got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of heartache. It's got everything you want in that regard. I just think, the Christmas payoff at the end is very sweet and very well done. I just don't, it's not enough of a Christmas movie for enough of its runtime for me to put it above a few that I have ahead of it. But overall, I was a big fan of it. Now, Corey, you said you had not seen this, right? Right.
Is it on your list?
It wouldn't
To
have been on
watch.
his list if he hasn't
To
seen
watch.
it. Okay. Yes.
To
okay.
watch? Sure.
He's not
I
going to
didn't
watch
believe
it.
I didn't buy that at
Nope.
all.
I didn't believe any of that.
Well, Cole, it is now your job to convince him. Explain why this movie was your number 1 Christmas movie of all time.
When I think of Christmas, I think of James Stewart. James, because I'm not friends with him. I'm not going to be calling him Jimmy. I think of him running down the street, screaming, "Merry Christmas, you old building and loan." He's just been through probably the worst day of his life, and he's finding the goodness in his heart to say Merry Christmas to this town that he has given his whole life to. It's about what makes Christmas Christmas. It's about giving. It's about friendship. It's about, even on your worst day, you can find some joy. And it's also about showing that, the smallest thing can have an impact on a person. He learns that through his life, he has basically saved the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. And I think when I think of Christmas, Christmas is about rebirth. It's about the birth of Christ.
Not to get political.
Yeah, Christ,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I remember him now. You remember Christ, right?
From bowling.
It's clarified most importantly when he's kind of realizing that because he didn't save his brother, all this bad stuff happened. And Clarence looks at him and he goes, George, you really had a wonderful life. And then it has one of my favorite end scenes when they're he's holding his daughter, and it's been parodied to death.
What's yours, Corey?
The bell rings. The bell rings. I'm not going to say
right.
It's every.
If you know type of bit there, yeah.
But that being said, it exemplifies everything I love about Christmas, and I think, like you said, it isn't really a Christmas movie for the whole runtime. It brings together why we love Christmas and what Christmas is about. It's not about just getting gifts. It's about the joy you get when you're with people and with your family. And yeah, it's about love. It's about George Bailey's love for life and for people.
It surely is. I do it that it is kind of, it's the old classic I think that people bring up the most with best Christmas movies list. So I made sure that was the one I've always danced around watching the past few years, and like, out of excuses this year, glad I watched it. Big fan of it. I'm trying to watch more old Hollywood movies, so that was a good one to cross off the list. But the next movie on our list is not old Hollywood, but it is still Corey. Just give up. This movie is. Corey was thinking this was going to be. This is one that is not on Corey's list. It was.
I'm guessing
on
Holiday from
this
Netflix.
This movie is over 30 years old now, so it's not new Hollywood. This is Batman Returns, a 1992 second Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman film. This was my number 5, and this was Cole's number 2. So we were both very high on this movie. I grew up with like thinking the first Burton Batman with Michael Keaton was like my favorite like Batman movie of all time. It's not anymore. I think it's between this and The Dark Knight. This being Batman Returns. I think this movie is an upgrade over the first one. Script wise, I think it looks amazing, and I think the Christmas setting is just incredible. I think that adds a lot to the ambience, the atmosphere in this movie, in this snowy Gotham, the snowy Gothic Gotham that we're playing around with here. So I don't know. I mean, Cole, you had this higher than me. If you want to explain what it is about Batman Returns that you like so much, what do you make of the Christmas setting in this superhero movie?
I think this is the best. Starting off, this is the best superhero Christmas movie. Hands down.
Iron Man 3 taking serious shrapnel there.
That was on my list.
Spoilers.
But, I mean...
Spoilers.
This one invokes the iconography of Christmas more than probably any superhero Christmas movie, but it also delves into the darkness that you deal with, like with loneliness. And
perfect.
Like when I think of being alone on Christmas, Danny DeVito's Penguin is probably up there with like saddest characters probably ever. Also, I had a huge crush on Michelle Pfeiffer when I was younger. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm just going to say it.
I do think there was a time where me and my friend Taylor were at a bar, and we had a debate of like, what are your top 5 sexiest movie characters? Not the top 5 hottest an actress has looked in a movie. Like the character itself. That changes the discussion a little bit. Who are the top 5 sexiest movie characters? And I will tell you that Michelle Pfeiffer's Selena Kyle Catwoman did make my top 5.
What? There's the clip of Danny DeVito talking about like going to set, and he's like, I lusted after her.
Oh God. Well, I'll tell you what, the Penguin character was definitely lusting after her. I mean, it is, I brought this up before. I love with the villains in Batman Returns, at least the 2 comic book, because Christopher Walken's an original character for the movie, but between the Penguin and Selena Kyle Catwoman, I think they are matching up the grossest superhero movie villain ever put on screen, and probably the sexiest one with Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. And I think that's a fun juxtaposition. Cool. I like what you said about loneliness, because they are all 3 very messed up
sad characters. Yeah,
they're sad, but they're all really, they're freaks in their own way. So that's, and they all are looking for some belonging, especially at this Christmas time. Even the romantic interest between Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle, it's kind of tragic to think about it, because it doesn't, it can't work. And that's, I think they kind of learn that as they're going through the motions in that movie. And I think in terms of the Christmas iconography, I really love the line that kind of exemplifies that when they, mild spoilers for Batman Returns, the moment when they realize that they know who their alter egos are, Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle, when they both realize that the other is Catwoman, the other is Batman, is because they're repeating a line that they had said to each other as Batman and Catwoman, which is, a mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it, and then a kiss is even deadlier if you mean it. And they say that to each other, and then realize in that moment that they are, they're enemies at the same time. It's a really, really cool dynamic. I don't know if you've ever seen something like that in a superhero movie where, the hero and the villain as in their normal, quote unquote, normal lives, are in love with each other and, kind of can't be together because in their other lives, they're at odds with each other. I don't know. It's a really,
Adversaries.
yeah, they're adversaries. And also, I like you said, Cole, it's the darkness. I really love the darkness in this movie. It was so dark, in fact, that Warner Brothers pretty much booted Tim Burton off the next movie, and then Michael Keaton went with them. So that's why we got Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, because they wanted to sell more Happy Meal toys, because kids were too scared by Batman Returns, and the parents didn't like
we
the
got to go to
innuendos.
the circus. We got to
Yeah,
go to the
we
circus.
We did
So
get that
it's
list. Corey, I know you have seen Batman Returns because you've letterboxed it. What do you have any thoughts on Batman Returns? Obviously, it's fine. It's fine. It didn't make your top 15. Just curious what your thoughts are on the movie.
I'll be honest, when thinking back of Christmas movies, it didn't even cross my mind. And it's not that I don't consider it a Christmas movie. It was just, I honestly didn't think of it when I was going through my list of Christmas movies. And so that, you know what, I'll take the blame for that one, because I'm not going to argue with either of you. I really like that movie. And so I'm just going to say just not one I thought of, honestly.
I like it. He's taking accountability in media. There we go.
We love accountability.
Guys, we are moving into our top 3. And from here on out, these 3 movies were on all 3 of our lists. So these are sweeps among all 3 of us. So no one's judging anyone here. There's no tone. We all like these movies. So coming in at number 3 with 26 points, A Christmas Story. This was I had this one the highest. This was my number 2 Christmas movie. And I think what works for me the most about this movie is that it really nails that excited feeling as a kid that you get leading up to Christmas and then waking up on Christmas morning. There's something that you want really bad for him. It's the BB gun. And that, of course, is, just paves the way for all the jokes about how he'll shoot his eye out and all that. So in a vacuum, that's what the movie's about, him really wanting the gun. But it's really just a series of vignettes, which is why I'll admit I've watched it. I watched it from start to finish like this week. First time I've ever watched it from start to finish. I grew up watching it every Christmas on TBS, where it just plays on a loop all day. And you just catch it at different moments throughout the movie. And it works like that because it's not like one little narrative through line you're following. It's just a series of things leading up to Christmas that culminate with Christmas morning, getting the BB gun. And it's got the nostalgia thing baked into it because it's told from Ralphie as an adult. So it's him looking back. And I think the movie looks like it has that haze over it. I think visually it's pretty stunning in that regard. And when I was rewatching it, like from start to finish, like as you normally would watch a movie, I knew I liked it. I was laughing so hard the whole time. I think this movie is so funny. So it really is just kind of like the perfect Christmas movie to me in that regard, which is why it came in at number 2 for me. So Corey, you had this one out of all of us the lowest. Corey, actually no, that's not true. Cole had it lowest. Cole, you had this at your number 11. So we'll go up from there. But Cole, what do you think about The Christmas Story, and do you have any favorite moments from the movie?
I mean, I think it's a solid Christmas movie. I don't think overall there's stuff like when I look back and I think of like stuff Ralphie does, it makes me cringe. So I guess that's what makes it a little harder to watch for me. But also, yeah, it does have some of the most quotable Christmas movie lines. Fudge, but I didn't say fudge. Or fragile. It must be Italian.
I'll tell you what, the funniest aspect of that scene, Cole, the fragile thing, is not even, it's the fact that he knows he's getting a major award, and he's guessing what it could be. And he even thinks he could be getting a full bowling alley, and he might be getting the deed to a bowling alley. He thinks that is on the table. And then he gets the leg lamp. He is, even with the expectations that he could get a full bowling alley, when he gets this leg lamp, he is not in the least disappointed. This lamp, he likes this lamp so much that his expectation of a bowling alley is pretty much on par with this leg lamp. That is what makes that gag work so well for me in that movie. Sorry to cut you off. That's the one. It's the understated humor about that.
I think the gags work, but it's just not one I come back to as much, I think. I think that's my biggest issue. Like, I know it's a good Christmas movie. but do I come back to it all the time? Probably not.
Yeah, I think I feel the exact same way as you, Cole, where it's like I can I enjoy myself when I'm watching it, but it's just not one that I feel like, oh, it's Christmas time, let's put on a Christmas story, you know? And I think it is to Zach's point because it is just a bunch of separate stories that all kind of like tie into leading to Christmas. And you don't necessarily need to watch them one after another. So that kind of lends itself to not being reached back out to as much. But I will say, Zach, I also would watch it on TBS when they would do the 24 Hours of a Christmas Story. And so that's kind of how I started seeing it over and over and over again. But it is good. I do enjoy it. So that's why I made my list and is number 9, because I think it is a really good Christmas movie. It's just not my favorite. And you said, Zach, this is your number 2?
Mm-hmm. It
And
really
it
is.
ended up being number 3 on our full list.
I guess because it made all of our lists
That's
on
probably,
some
yeah.
form or another.
Top 10 and 2 of them. Okay.
Well, one quick fun fact about that movie before going on, Corey. Christmas Story was directed by Bob Clark, who directed another Christmas movie, another famous Christmas movie. Do you know what that other famous Bob Clark Christmas movie is?
Home Alone.
No, sir.
No.
He directed Black Christmas. So
I just watched that one.
very different Christmas movies. I think you know what I was saying earlier about with a Christmas movie, you got to set it around that time and have the iconography, and then you can either choose to focus on the warmth of Christmas or the coldness of it. And he did both with separate movies. So, and I think
when did
Black Christmas was first.
Christmas Story?
Christmas Story is 83.
Okay.
Black Christmas is 74.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so he did the darker one and then got a little lighter with it. So
Nice.
now we are in our top 2 now. I think anyone who's really paying attention probably knows what the top 2 are without knowing the order of the top 2. So my question for you guys is, I did calculate the top 15. I decided we shouldn't just read 15, but you want me to read you what the honorable mentions were that made 11 through 15 before we do the top 2?
Yeah,
I'll just
sure.
read them
Yeah,
off.
just
Just read them off.
Read them off.
Tied for 14 and 15. And there was no way to break this tie because both of these were only on one of our lists. So my tiebreaker of if it was on 2 lists couldn't work here. So tied for 14/15, Black Christmas, and which came in at number 4 for me, and The Polar Express, which came in at number 4 for Corey. So that's what made 14/15 as a tie there with 12 points each. This is the one I was talking about earlier that I feel like if Corey had rewatched it, it probably would have overall made our top 10 because this was on Cole and I's list, and I'm surprised it wasn't on Corey's. Gremlins. That came in at number 6 for me.
I feel
Came
like
in
that
at
would just
number
frustrate
14
Corey.
for Cole.
I
don't know why that
I'll
would
admit,
frustrate
I haven't
him.
seen it in a while.
They're
seems like
just
the type of
such
movie he'd
little
like.
assholes.
Well, I don't
And
think that would
I
frustrate
have
Corey-
seen it
Corey.
before. It's been a long time. So
I was just shocked to not see it there. But here's one that I also thought was a lock to make the top 10. This was on both of Corey and I's list. It did not make Cole's. Coming in at number 12 was The Holdovers. That is a cozy, sweet movie that I liked way more than I thought I would.
I
That
have
went
not
down real
seen it
smooth.
all the way through.
you'd like it.
It is really,
Stop.
really good. And that might be one
I-
that I try to rewatch before Christmas. That is just such a good movie. Paul Giamatti.
That's
is
a
I
good
really
have
good one, I
seen the
think.
clip of him breaking his arm probably like 10 times, and I think
Mhm.
that sequence is incredibly well directed and hilarious. You were supposed to be looking after me.
That would have been the newest movie on our list if that had made it. And then coming in at number 11, this was actually tied with Muppet Christmas Carol, but like I said, the tiebreaker was, is it on two people's lists? And Corey probably knows what it is just by doing simple math. It is his number 1 movie, Klaus, which did not make the list because it was only on his list, and Muppet Christmas Carol was on Cole and I's list. So they both had 15 points. Corey, I will let you explain why you love this movie so much. I've not seen it.
I highly, highly recommend it. You guys remember my whole thing where I was like, I love a good robot, Wild Robot. I'm
Yes.
sorry,
Yes.
Good Dinosaur. I was thinking of in my head. Wild Robot, where I was like, I love Wild Robot. This has a very, very similar vibe, but it's around Santa and it's around mail. I guess it's a way of saying it. It is so well written. It is so well drawn. I love this movie. The first time I saw it was last year, and I think I watched it twice last year. It's so good, and I am absolutely going to be watching it this year. If you guys haven't seen it, Cole, Zach said he hasn't seen it. Have you seen it, Cole? I beg you to watch it. I beg you to watch
All
it.
right. Received. received. I might actually watch that then. That might be the last new Christmas movie in terms of one I haven't seen that I get in this holiday season. So
If you're ever sitting around where you're like, wow, the whole family's here, or I have a bunch of people here, like, what are we gonna watch? Put this movie on.
Zach and I are having a little get together, so we might have to do that. We might just have to
do that in an environment when I'm like socializing and talking with people. I'd rather just like sit down and watch it.
I meant more of like you have family and if there's kind of a lull in the family conversation, everyone's kind of chatted.
Quiet.
I'll do that. I'll do that at my own Christmas. How's that sound?
You guys stop talking.
All right.
But highly recommend both you watch it.
So that came in at number 11. So that was just barely missed the cut. Quite literally tied with our number 10. But, technicality booted it out. So we are now in our top 2. Obviously, we all know what the top 2 are. We don't know which order. So coming in at number 2, Die Hard. Die Hard makes our top 2 right here. I was shocked that I had this the highest. I had this at 3. Cole and Corey, you were twinning. So adorable. Both had it at 7.
Twinsies.
Okay.
Now we really don't need to talk long about this movie because
we have a whole episode on it.
You should listen to the episode.
I will link it. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will link it right here.
One thing I'll say about it to sum it up why I think it works is it's just such an exciting movie. It's counter programming, to like the typical Christmas movie, like the cozy, sweet kind of comedies or whatever, heartwarming. Not that Die Hard isn't heartwarming at times, maybe at the end, because it is all about him trying to save his wife, get back to his family. It's just, a lot more violent than a lot of these typical Christmas movies. So it's something different. It's something very different without getting too dark, like something like Black Christmas might be for some people. So I think that's why people are really drawn to Die Hard. And obviously Alan Rickman, Bruce Willis, that's a just great 1-2 combo for hero villain. So, but again, a whole episode on it, so that's all I'll say about it here for the number 2 spot on our top 10 Christmas movies. But do you guys have anything specific you want to say about Die Hard before we move on to number 1?
Nope, go watch our episode.
All right, I love it. That's how we stay moving, guys, with sacrifices like that you guys just made there. Obviously, number 1, drum roll, please. No real need to do a drum roll. Nightmare Before Christmas did take the dominant top spot for our top 10 Christmas movies. I remember pushing this last year to do as our Christmas movie when we'd like had that poll for which ones we want to do. It was like Gremlins, Die Hard, that, and then I don't remember, maybe it was Home Alone when we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. This is my favorite animated movie of all time. There's that, so it's that.
Incredibles
Above
taking
the
track.
Incredibles?
Incredibles is right there on the Mount Rushmore. It's right there, but there's just a level of creativity here that I'm so enamored with. The design of the characters, every single character in this town, there's something unique about them. They're just really funny to me. I think it's kind of the side characters are what make it so funny. I think the villain is so charismatic and fun with Oogie Boogie. I think if there's any one weakness with the movie, and it's minor, is that I think the Jack and Sally romance probably could have afforded one more scene. I think it takes a little too long for Jack to appreciate Sally. And that's Catherine O'Hara, by the way. That's the other Catherine O'Hara movie on the list.
Oh.
Sally's the mom in Home Alone. So there's the connection there. And also I think the songs are mostly great. I really do. Especially like the first 3 songs, just between This Is Halloween, Jack's Lament, and What's This when he lands in Christmas Town.
What's this?
That's just banger after banger right there off the top. And, there are some good ones later with like Oogie Boogie song and Sally song. And I'm just big fan of, I like stop motion animation. I know Corey is not the biggest fan of stop motion animation historically, but he still had it high on his list here. So Corey, what is it about this movie? This was your number 2. So what is it? This movie is good enough for you to overcome your dislike of stop motion animation, unless your opinion on that has just changed since then.
I'll say that my opinion on stop motion animation is that it doesn't really help me with the movie, but I think with, there are actually 3 movies on my list that are stop motion animation, and all of them, I saw them when I was young, and I think that's why I'm okay with them, and I can kind of get past that, because, Zach, everything you said was 100% true, part of the reason I put it at my number 2, and I think this is also a movie, and this played into it, that 1, nostalgia that played into it, but 2, you can watch this during Christmas, you can watch this during Halloween. Like, I think this is a good, like, end-of-year type movie in general, so it keeps you coming back time and time again, because it's not just, like, a really good Christmas movie, it's a really good Halloween movie, too, and I think when you have something like that, I think that's really good, when you can kind of not just blend 2 genres, but blend 2 holidays together that seemingly are opposites. I think that's that says something about the writing, that says something about the storytelling, and it says that it's really, really well done.
On that point, I think that's also part of why I love it, is because Halloween is my favorite holiday, and I think Christmas is my favorite holiday of the day. Halloween is my favorite season, and so this is literally like the perfect union of that, because it's all about building up to the Christmas day with just the Halloween aesthetic on top of it all. So I think that is a big part of it. Cole, what are your thoughts on Nightmare Before Christmas? And you know what? Do you have a favorite song from the picture?
Nothing that hasn't been said. I mean, I agree with you both. Favorite song, definitely. What's this?
What's this? That one's
Because
banger.
it really just captures the infectious joy of Christmas that can really overcome anything. I mean, a character who was bred to be a Halloween character, Jack Skellington. I think, that's the epitome of the movie and how infectious Christmas is. There's children throwing snowballs instead of throwing heads.
I do love the it's not, as a song, it's not great really, but it is entertaining just from the humor of it all, with when he's trying to introduce Christmas as a concept to the town, and any Christmas concept he brings up, they immediately jump to their own Halloween conclusions about it. Like, oh, here's a stocking or whatever. And the first thing is like, does it still have a foot? Like, it's like such a, I don't know. It's just really funny to me. Now, Cole, your nieces or at least your oldest niece, Tessa, I believe she likes this movie, or am I mistaken on that?
She loves it. There was one year she's just walking around going, "This is Halloween. This is Halloween."
My nephews aren't quite there yet.
As
and
cultured.
Yeah, and I think they're they're just little scaredy cats still. So I'm soft launching it to them this Halloween. I don't think they'll listen to this episode, so spoiler alert for them if they get to this far. But I bought my nephews Thomas and Carver the original children's book, Nightmare Before Christmas, that Tim Burton wrote before the movie. I picked it up from Barnes & Noble. I think this is a good way to introduce them to the movie without throwing that entire experience in their face and, seeing if they can handle it. But, maybe I'll have a discussion with their parents. Maybe this year's the year that, those two older nephews can handle the movie. But obviously it's a perfect movie for me. Like I said, favorite animated movie, favorite Christmas movie. So it's not a Tim Burton directed movie, but it's enough of his DNA and branding all over it that I'll say if it was a Tim Burton movie, it would probably be my favorite one of those as well. That's our list. Just to run them down really quick: Muppets Christmas Carol 10, Elf 9, Santa Claus 8, The Santa Claus, I should say 8, Home Alone 7, Christmas Vacation 6, It's a Wonderful Life at 5, Batman Returns 4, Christmas Story 3, Die Hard 2, and Nightmare Before Christmas 1. I kind of put a bit here on the outline. Like, do we have any takeaways from this list? I don't really know if there is. We kind of went over there with fun with numbers a bit, but
I was going to say, we kind of talked about takeaways during it too.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess there's nothing left to do except to go read off our individual lists. Now, I'll go first with mine just to get it out of the way. And you guys, feel free to hold me accountable. You guys think one of these
Can we
takes is
say
crazy?
bad take?
Yeah, if you think so. Coming in at number 15, and this is probably the one that I would have to justify the most. If we actually I never thought for a minute this would be on either of your lists. So this was just me putting it on there because I when I think about what I would go back to every Christmas, this would be one of them, even though I'm sure there are, Cole had a movie on his list that I think is better than this movie. I do think it's better, except the movie on Cole's list didn't make mine because it's just not enough of a Christmas movie for me to put it over this. My movie is Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is an 80s slasher movie where a guy is dressed as Santa. And you know what it is? It's just mountains of that iconography I was talking about. Very much a Christmas movie, a lot of Christmas music. He's literally dressed as Santa. It's the darker side of Christmas. It's that coldness of Christmas that I talked about. And I think it's a lot of fun. It's not high art by any means, but I have a lot of fun with it. And then complete counter programming to that is White Christmas, coming in as my number 14. That was the other movie from the 40s that I mentioned with fun with numbers. It's just a good musical. It's really, a lot of good dance numbers in it. Bing Crosby's in it. It's a solid movie. And then jumping back into horror, number 13. I thought this would be on one of your lists. Terrifier 3 was my number 13 Christmas movie.
Really?
Really was. I think that movie is a lot of fun. And you know what? I don't think my girlfriend will watch it, but if I have a moment without the girlfriend and I want to watch a Christmas movie, I might take the window for that.
Women don't get it.
Women
just
just don't
don't
understand
get
it.
it.
I had a lot of fun with Art the Clown as a Santa in that movie. Not a perfect movie, as we talked about on our episode, but I think the Christmas setting works really well
Link
for
to
it.
our episode here.
And then I'll rattle off the rest of
Oh,
these
yeah.
pretty quickly because most of them were on the list from here on out. 12 was Muppet Christmas Carol. 11 was Christmas Vacation. 10 was Elf. 9, Home Alone. 8 was The Holdovers. 7, It's a Wonderful Life. 6, Gremlins. 5, Batman Returns. 4, Black Christmas, which, like I said, I watched last night. Big fan. Just a really solid Christmas horror movie. I highly recommend it. 3, Die Hard. 2, A Christmas Story. And number 1, Nightmare Before Christmas. So that was my top 15. Corey, I have you next on here. If you want to rattle off your 15 to 1.
I can go, and I'm not going to be taking questions. Not going to be okay with being held accountable at all. I'm just
You
going to read
might
them off.
be. You might have to answer a couple here, but
I'm gonna go number 15, Spirited, the Apple TV movie that came out 2-3 years ago, I believe. Not
friend
too
of the
long
pod
ago.
Sam's
Will
gonna be
Ferrell.
happy with that selection.
Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds. It is a really fun Christmas musical. My mom really, really likes it, so I think that's one of the main reasons it made my top 15, because she always asks, "Did you watch it this year or something?"
Shout out
And
to the only mom who listens.
So just circling it back to that. Number 14, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, animated, stop motion.
Had never heard of it. Had never heard of it.
It is really good, but I don't know if I could put it too high. But that's also one of the nostalgia
That's the
ones.
one
Speaking
that's
of,
like the origin of Santa, right?
yes. And then right above that, but it's stop motion. Like you see him grow the beard, you see like all the traditions, like how it started. Anyway, the police are after him. He keeps sneaking into people's houses.
I could see that being an issue. Yeah.
And number 13, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, a stop motion animation again. Number 12, The Santa Claus, Tim Allen. 11, Holdovers. 10, Scrooge with Bill Murray.
I gotta watch it.
I recommend it. I think that's
Richard Donner.
It's a really good twist on the classic A Christmas Carols movie. Number 9, A Christmas Story, talked about that. And number 8, Elf. Number 7, Die Hard. Number 6, How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. No one brought that up. I love that movie.
Watched it. I actually rewatched it just in case. I put it on my list just to see if it would make the cut, and I did like it. Not quite enough to crack that top 15 though.
Number 5, Christmas Vacation. Number 4, The Polar Express, which you said fell into 11?
Yeah, that was tied with 14 and 15 with Black Christmas, because we both had it at our number 4 spot. So they had the same number of points, but no tiebreaker there.
Was not on my list.
Number 3, Home Alone. Number 2, Nightmare Before Christmas. And number 1, Klaus.
Klaus.
So good.
Cole, this is where I had questions for you, because when you did have the repeats on your list and then you replaced them, you didn't like just move up one and then put some at 15, 14. You just took out the ones that you had double of and put a different movie there. So it felt like you were just plug and playing instead of actually like ranking them.
Okay.
So that was my concern there.
No. I would think of it and then I would remove them by accident. Yeah, my 15 going down. Love Actually. I mean, it has one of my favorite original Christmas songs for a movie, which is Billy Mack's Christmas is All Around, which is actually a Christmas version of a song called Love is All Around. But 14, Gremlins. 13, Iron Man 3. It made the list. Second favorite Iron Man movie. Number 12, Christmas Vacation. Number 11, A Christmas Story. Number 10, Elf. Number 9, The Night Before.
There's a big one coming here, Corey. Just wait. Keep on going, Cole.
Number 8, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Number 7, Die Hard. Number 6, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
That's the one that I kind of bumped on there, Cole. That you have that above Die Hard. You have the 30-minute Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special above Die Hard on there. And I thought he's dropping a take. He's dropping a big take. And I was wondering if you wanted to discuss that one for a moment.
I now come, since it came out, I watch it probably every Christmas. I mean, it is like my new Christmas movie. I love the songs.
The songs are really, really good.
The songs that James Gunn put in that, I now listen to regularly around the holiday season. I just think of Christmas. It's kind of like my go-to. If I'm feeling like, hey, I want to watch like a fun like superhero thing, that's my go-to. It is very fun without the need to be dramatic. It has this light heart in this. Also, the simple fact that like they're trying to kidnap Kevin Bacon is hilarious. And when they learn he's an actor, I mean, link to our episode here.
We don't have every episode up on YouTube, so we can't
God
keep
damn
saying
it,
that.
Corey. I thought that's when we started putting them up on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, it's just a movie I come back to when I need a little Christmas joy. And that's why I thought it was higher than Die Hard, in my opinion. I mean, not that I think it's a better movie than Die Hard. I think it's a better Christmas movie than Die Hard.
Okay.
That's what this list is. It's our favorite Christmas movies. If we're ranking these by movies, the layout of the list is going to be completely different.
Mine was pretty much best Christmas. Yeah. You know what, Cole, I can get behind. That's fair enough. I thought you were making a profound take that Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is a better piece of work than Die Hard. And I thought we were really going to have a serious sit down here on the podcast today.
Cole, can you do the Star Wars Christmas special next? Can you say that one next? Is that one number 5 on the list?
Fuck no.
No, the rest
number
of
5.
The rest of 5 is pretty normal.
Muppets Christmas Carol, number 4. Nightmare Before Christmas, number 3. The Santa Claus. Zach, get on that. That was after Tim Allen got off cocaine. Number 2, Batman Returns. Have you ever seen that mugshot? It's one of the greatest celebrity mugshots probably ever. Number 2, Batman Returns. And number 1 is A Wonderful Life.
Nice.
George, you really had a wonderful life.
Oh, that's cute. Well, that's it. That's our list, and then that's our cumulative list there. And you know what? Maybe we'll post the lists on our social so you can just read them.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll give it some time, just so you still have to listen to this episode first. But eventually, we'll put it on there.
Ooh.
I'll start making clips for y'all. Don't worry.
Right. Well, thank you guys for entertaining this idea. This was a last minute idea. This is not one that we were planning for a while. I'm glad we got it done before the Christmas. I guess the last question that I want to end us with, and no need to think hard about it. What's your favorite Christmas song this season? I guess if I had to divide it for me, between commercial Christmas and religious Christmas songs, my favorite religious Christmas song is Silent Night. I think, don't overthink it. I think it's just a really good song. I think it can be used very effectively in movies as well. But yeah, I'm a big Silent Night enjoyer. I like during the services where everyone gets a candle. That's the fun part. Where everyone gets to hold a candle during Silent Night. And in terms of traditional, just Santa Claus type of Christmas songs, All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey I do think it's just genuinely one of the best pop songs of all time in general. So that's my answer there. But Cole, do you have what's your favorite Christmas song?
I've actually been going through a few phases. Fairy Tale of New York, or I Want an Alien for Christmas, or just I Want an Alien for Christmas might be the most fun Christmas song.
Oh.
It's this guy, one of the lines is, "If you're up there somewhere, Santa, please don't bring me another bike."
If you're up there, Santa's God.
I just love that idea. If you're up there somewhere, Santa, looking around, if you're up there somewhere. Yeah, those songs bring me a lot of joy. And then also one I listened to during the first snow as I'm shoveling my driveway was You Make Me Feel Like Christmas by Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani. Actually a very fun song.
Rip. They broke up, right? Or am I
no, they're married. They're married.
I'm thinking of Nicole Kidman and the other country guy.
Keith Urban, the Australian country singer.
Right. Corey, finish us off with your favorite Christmas song.
Come on, Corey, finish us off.
Well, I'll say honorable mention to one of Cole's favorite Christmas movies of all time, the Guardians Holiday Special. I don't really like. I don't know what Christmas is. That song is so good. I unironically listened to it a lot the year that movie came out, or that special came out.
Just really quickly, I played that for my mom, and my mom she does not curse a lot, but she was like, "What the hell is this song?"
Whoa.
And then she went to confession.
I
think. I don't know.
Take my confession.
But my actual favorite song is "Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree."
That's a damn good song.
I love that song.
Damn. That's a fine song, Jack. That's a fine song.
You got a damn good pick, Corey.
But that's it. That's what we have for you for our Christmas episode. Zach, thank you for prompting us throughout the day. Sorry we gave you so much grief, but now you know how it feels being my end of things. So other episodes that we'll have coming out, either we just came out or coming out around this time, is Wake Up Dead Man on Netflix, and of course Avatar: Fire and Ash, which we'll be finishing off the year with. So go check those movies out, and in the meantime, just keep watching Christmas movies and keep up that infidelity, guys.
Yep. Happy holidays. Happy prominent
Come on,
winter
man.
holiday.
Happy prominent winter holiday season.
See you later.
Bye.